The book I chose to do was Pressing Hard by Stephanie Perry Moore. A little information about Stephanie Perry Moore. She was born in South Carolina and was raised in Virginia, and she ended up going to Alabama to get her education in Alabama. She writes to educate young teens and help them develop like ways to deal with temptations going through high school and how to prepare for the challenges in high school and to educate younger kids as well about how to get through elementary and middle school, leading up to high school and have to deal with the bigger problems like sexual activities, drugs, and many other things that she had to deal with in high school. And she also tried to writes her stories to put God in it as well, to get kids to understand how God is an important role model in your life and how He can help you get through many problems that you have to deal with at times. The setting of the story takes place in Georgia, and Georgia and high school in Georgia. There was no name for the high school, but it's just a high school in Georgia. Um, Different places like the main character's house, like Perry's house, his friend's house, parties and football fields and different venues like that. Um, the main characters in the story will be Perry, Demarius, Cole, Tori, Savoy, and God. God is a very huge character in the story that is brought up a lot. And the theme to me of this story would be like a helping hand, like how God is a helping hand, and not many people know that until they really need Him. How if you involve Him in your life, He'll be there for you plenty of times when you need Him, and making the right decision. She tried to put in very ways to like hint at making the right decision in this book. So I think it's one of the main themes of this book is making the right decision. And my picture I used was choices. This is supposed to be Perry. I'm not really a good drawer, but this is Perry, and I have girls, football, drugs, friends, and school in his head, and he's thinking about the different choices he have to make. So it's just a visual image of like the choices he have to make and what he's dealing with in the beginning of and almost through the end of the book. Um, a section of the book I wrote was towards the end, or that I chose was towards the end of the book, and it's a very nice section. And I'm gonna read. It's a small paragraph, and I'll read it out to you. And it says, when your faith gets so strong, you begin to stumble. Just get back up again. Make love to God. You know, it may sound crazy, but when you stray from Him, you act a fool. There are plenty of times that I come out here to the course and let nature talk to me, and I look at that as getting back on track to do the best I can. Gotta keep readjusting my faith. That really stood out to me in this book because it broke down how he was feeling and how he thought if he look up to God and adjusting his faith, it'll help him get through high school way easier and many of the temptations he had to deal with. And that's what I saw that section as. And some of the devices he used symbols a lot, like different symbols, like throughout the book he played football and he'll mess up in the game one time and it'll be a symbol to think back on what did he do before the game and how he did the wrong thing and how God can be a good help in that. He used imagery as well, like a lot of imagery is used in this book. He uses like props, like the football going out. One time he just dropped open passes, and he explains things like she explains things well, like details and characters and how things happen. And there's a lot of irony also used in this story because it's things like his parents hinting at what was going to happen in the future because they told him if you do this and this may happen. For example, his grandmother told him if you find a girlfriend, be loyal to her, and there's gonna be many other girls since you're a top high school prospect. And as soon as he got to 12th grade, many girls wanted to come on him, and he almost ended up cheating on his girlfriend that he was dating at the time. And that's why that section was very significant to me. And another visual aid I put adjusting my faith, his faith, and here it says sins, negatives, positives, and God. And it's him trying to readjust his faith in God and put the right places in front to get where he has to go in life, which is college to play football at Georgia Tech. And that's what the main objective. He had a scholarship to go there, so that's what he was trying to do: adjust his faith to get back on track to make sure he goes into Georgia Tech with no problems. Um, to me, people who will enjoy this book is young athletes like myself and plenty of other athletes that deal with temptations like drugs, girls, the pressure of school, and different things like making the right decisions, who you go out with and who you hang with. And people who would enjoy this book, I say people that's not into athletes, athletic events, like more adventurous people, like nature people, I don't think they will enjoy this book. And it talks about a very lot of controversial events, like teenage pregnancy that happens a lot more often, and it can affect the reader in many ways because it can make you think about, wow, I'm an athlete in high school. Maybe I should think about the things I'm doing different and try to involve myself with God more often because this can end up happening to me, you know. And the visual aid I use for this one, this is supposed to be Perry telling his story to younger kids and teens to how to better yourself in high school and not to get into drugs and sexual activities until later on in life because it can mess up your career. And yep, this was the book I read, Preston Heart by Stephanie Perry Moore, and I definitely recommend it to athletes dealing with the same things in high school. That's it.